Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here, and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today, guys, I'm going to be continuing the 2023 three-game match review series. Of course, we're going to be reviewing the last three games of round 2 of the 2023 AFL season. Those are Sydney vs Hawthorn, Essendon vs Gold Coast, and West Coast vs GWS. It was a really fascinating Sunday of footy, with the Swans getting over the line against Hawthorn pretty comfortably by 81 points in the end. A real smashing. 17-16, 118 the Swans to Hawthorn's 4-13-37. Hawthorn, inaccuracy probably did not cost them in this game because they weren't going to win, but they could have at least made a bit more of a charge had they been more accurate, especially throughout that second and, really just the entire game, to be completely honest. But the Swans, no surprise. We knew they were going to win, or most of us knew they were going to win, and they did exactly that by a big margin as well. And, yeah, that was a pretty comfortable win, and just the difference in classy levels of these two sides as well was quite different. One that you'd expect to be quite up around the top, and one which you'd expect to be quite around the bottom of the ladder were clashing, and the Swans pretty comfortably got the win. They nearly got to the 100-point mark. However, the Hawks did kick a couple goals late just to reduce the margin to a little over 80. But the Swans, I don't think there's a grand final fall-off. I still feel like they are going really well. Logan McDonald, 5 goals. They found a great tool in him. Callum Mills, 28 disposals, and Goulden, 28. Dylan Moore, 109 fantasy, along with Callum Mills, Lloyd Meek, the big man for the Hawks, with the 8 tackles. 109 fantasy for Mills and Moore, as we know. Goulden, 104, 103 for Parker, 99 for Newcomb. Goals behinds, 5 goals for McDonald, 4 for Amati, 2 for Papley, 2 for Heaney, 2 for Mills. Those are the multiple goal scorers, but I'm pretty sure Amati is like a medium to, I'm pretty sure. So he's definitely put his name up for why he should play next week as well. 28 disposals for Mills and Goulden, 27 for Parker, 26 for Day. Go to tackles, 8 for Meek, 6 for Rowbottom, 19 hit-outs for Meek, 17 for Laddams, 14 for Reeves, 5 for McLean, 1 for Nash. Now the team stats, and 58-42 inside 50s, the Swans going inside. Plenty more times. At times it definitely did feel like it was living in their 50. Hit-outs, clearances, and centre clearances, though, surprisingly all in favour of the Hawks. 8-15 centre clearances. That's interesting. But the Swans, though, they do have a great defence. Their ability to win the ball back would have been on show. Marks, 101-85, 18-9 marks inside 50, 13-5 contested, all in favour of the Swans. The Swans led for the whole game. Definitely did deserve the win in the end. And they are looking really good after the first couple rounds of footy, the Sydney Swans. Alright, now to the Sunday afternoon Channel 7 time slot game. This one was an exciting matchup between the Bombers and the Suns, and this did look like it was going to be a really exciting and promising matchup between these two sides. Essendon 16-12, 108 beat the Suns 11-14, 80. The Suns, in a year where they need to prove something, they need to prove that they can make the finals, or at least compete, really. They're 0-2 to start the year, which is not looking good for them. They have had a difficult run, but it doesn't get a lot easier for them, at least for now. But yes, the Bombers, 108-80, won the game by 28 points after it was a really exciting contest for most of the game, especially those first 3 quarters where it was just back and forth, lead changes everywhere. However, the Suns did lead most of the time throughout the first 3 quarters. It was level at 3-quarter time, 72, all heading into the final quarter. And then that was just where the Bombers just had a shift. The momentum shifted. They kicked 5 goals to 1 that quarter to seal the deal, including a couple of finishing, sealing goals. And they also kicked 6 behinds in that quarter as well. The Suns kicked 1 goal 2. The Bombers kicked 5 goals 6. So you could say that they did miss a couple of easy chances, did the Bombers, and they probably could have had a bigger win. However, 28 points is definitely still pretty good for them. Zach Merritt, 31 disposals, along with Tuke Miller. 5 goals for Langford. He was really important. 130 fantasy for Setterfield. Also really good as well with the 9 tackles. So Will Setterfield played a really nice game for the Bombers. 130 fantasy, 103 for Parrish and Shield and Redmond. 102 for Miller, 100 for Merritt, 97 for Langford, 95 for Rao. Rao at times was really good. I feel like Rao had a pretty good game. We know he's had a career which has probably been not what he's thought so far, obviously being a number 1 pick. He had a disappointing injury, so I feel like, wow, this was a good game by him. So goals behind, let's see. Langford kicks 5 goals, 2 goals for Guelphy, Menzies, Shield, King, and Casbolt. Disposals, 31 for Miller and Merritt. 30 for Parrish, 28 for Setterfield, 27 for Shield. Alright, now to tackles. Setterfield had 9, Caldwell has 7. Hit-outs, 36 for Witts, 24 for Draper, 14 for Phillips, 3 for Casbolt. Go to team stats now. And it was a pretty well lock around most things, except for handballs, 154 to 115 in favour of the Bombers. Inside 50s were locked at 57-57. It was actually free kicks, 18-18. Clearances, 36 to 42, but the centre ones were locked at 14. 22-28, stoppage in favour of the Suns. 218 to 181 contested possessions, all that I really see. Marks are even as well. 90 to 91 marks, 13 to 14 marks inside 50. 11 to 12 contested marks, all in favour of Gold Coast. However, that's not a massive number. Time spent in front as well, really even. The Suns did lead for more of the game than the Bombers, but only a little over half. Tackle 66 to 48, that can be big. The Bombers, one thing they did quite well against the Hawks was their tackling pressure. And even though they're not the best defensive side in the comp, and they obviously won't be, they still actually looked really good in those tackles. Laying those tackles is still really important, and getting those pressure acts, especially because it's really important what you do without the footy as well. And that's a good sign there for the Bombers. Something which they may have failed to have done last year, some little defensive acts. They're at least doing early so far this year. And now to a pretty good game to finish off the round. West Coast vs GWS. Both sides went into this contest both wanting a win, and the team which needed this win actually got it. West Coast 14-16, 100. GWS 11-15, 81. I thought West Coast looked really good. I thought they looked different. I thought they played differently, and they played a little bit more aggressive rather than a slow brand of footy. And the Giants did have a couple of big outs, but some of their players still were pretty good as well. But yeah, it was a great game of footy. West Coast won by 19 in the end after leading most of the game. But from half time, they didn't look as great as the Giants did. However, they managed to just put some pressure on to win the game. They managed to just grind that win out in the end. So it was the Giants were in the first quarter. But it was a really exciting, interesting first quarter. Second quarter, that's where West Coast went bang. That's where they set up the win from that second quarter. If they hadn't have had a big second quarter, it would have been a really close game and probably the Giants win. However, that second quarter, they kicked 8 goals to 2 to set up that victory. And in that third quarter, they kicked 3 goals to 3. So it's pretty even, 3 goals 4 to 3 goals 4. So really even quarter there. And then the last quarter, the Giants have a better quarter. The Eagles kick 1 goal 6. Again, inaccuracy to, to 3 goals 5. So both teams were inaccurate. Both teams had their fair chances to win or extend their lead. The Eagles could have easily extended their lead. The Giants could have easily found a way to come back and win because both these two sides were average in front of the goals today, missing some relatively easy shots on goal. Tim Kelly, 32 disposals, 4 goals for Waterman and Toby Green. Those two were definitely influential up forward. I also thought Hogan was pretty good. Waterman, 110 fantasy, 110 for Flynn as well, 9 tackles for Stephen Cornelio. AFL fantasy now, 110 for Waterman and Flynn, 105 for Cornelio, 102 for Kelly. Kelly definitely played one of the best games I've seen him play in a little while. 102 for Hogan. He was a target up forward. 94 Green. That's Tom Green. 89 for Toby Green. 4 goals for Waterman and Green. 3 goals, 4 for Hogan, so he didn't have a great game from the sticks. He could have easily had 5 and helped the Giants perhaps get close to that win. Jamie Cripps, 3 goals, 2, including that stunner from the pocket. 2 goals for Allen and Hunt as well. Disposals, 32 for Kelly, 28 for Cornelio, 27 for Jermaine Jones, who had a good game. Tom Green had 27 as well. Tackles now, 9 for Cornelio, 6 for Jimby. And 5 for Darling and Flynn. Hit outs, 39 for Flynn, 24 Williams, 8 for Waterman, 5 for Darling, 3 for Himmelberg, 1 for Riccardi and Hogan. Now I'm going to go to team stats. And 58-52 inside 50, so the Eagles going inside 6 more times than the Giants. 37-33 clearances, 26-18 stoppage in favour of the Eagles, 11-15 in favour of the Giants. That's centre clearances. Marks inside 50, 15-14 in favour of the Eagles. 84-79 marks in favour of the Eagles. 7-10 contested in favour of the Giants. The Eagles did spend most of the time in front of this game, and I just felt like the way they played after that first quarter, they did look really good. They played well. They played exciting. They played different to what they normally have, and that is what got them that win, all off the back of that second quarter. Alright, so here's the ladder after round 2. The Swans are on top of the whopping 232.7%. Saints and Bombers are in 3rd. The Pies are in 4th. North Melbourne are in 5th. Richmond and Carlton are in 6th and 7th. Melbourne are in 8th. West Coast in 9th. GWS in 10th. Port Adelaide in 11th. Brisbane in 12th. 13th is the Dockers. 14th is the Cats. 15th is the Crows. 16th is the Suns. 17th is the Western Bulldogs, which leaves Hawthorn on the bottom of the ladder. Round 2, we'll just have a quick little recap here. The Cats lost to the Blues by 8. The Lions got over the Demons by 11. The Pies got over the Power by 71. The Tigers got over the Crows by 32. The Saints over the Dogs by 51. North Melbourne pulled off a thrilling upset in the West, winning by 1 point. The Swans smashed the Hawks by 81, as we've seen in this 3-game match reviews. The Bombers won by 28, and to close off the round, West Coast win by 19. And we'll just have a little look at round 3. Here we go, but we will be saving this for another time, as that is the round preview on Wednesday night. So that's pretty much going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell, so then you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much. And goodbye everyone, Flame Footy out.